struggling to keep track of your invoices? Maybe you're tired of chasing payments. And do you need to take back that control of your cash flow? Let's talk Xero invoicing. Invoices are absolutely crucial. They help you get paid, keep you on track of your transactions, and help you to be able to manage your cash flow. With cloud accounting, you can do it quicker, better, and from absolutely anywhere, on your phone, anywhere that has an internet connection basically. Customization allows you to be able to reflect your brand and also your business needs. So you can have on the bottom explaining your exact T's and C's. Whilst you can easily track your payments, send them reminders, and also reconcile the transactions, most importantly. Pro tip, I touched on this earlier, but there is a Xero mobile app. So it's incredibly useful if you're, say, a tradesman out on site or you do a lot of business on the go. Super, super easy and very, very efficient. Log into your Xero account, navigate to business and go down to invoices. Here you can begin to create a new invoice. From here, all you need to do is fill in all the boxes. So here you'll need to either search for your customer or enter it if you haven't before. You'll need their name, their company name, things like that. You can add a new customer on the spot and you can fill in their details later in the contact section. Adding a reference number is optional, but things like a purchase order number can go here. Xero is great because it automatically generates the invoice numbers based on the last invoice created. This is in your settings, so do go and check it out because you can start at 1000 or you can start at number 1, whatever you choose. If you're midway through the cycle as well of your invoice numbers from one system to another, you can also start midway. To change it, you need to go to invoice settings, default settings, and automatic sequencing. You can also change the automatic invoice prefix here and adjust it directly on the invoice. What does this mean? It basically means, are you going to have INV before your invoice number, etc, etc. The issue date is automatically today's date, but you can change it for any date that you want. So if you are behind on your invoicing, which I really hope you're not, but if you are, you can backdate. For the due date, you can add any date you want. Maybe you have payment terms of 7 days, 14 days, 21, or whatever may be the case in your circumstances. You can also have it auto-populate in settings. So to set a default due date, you go into your invoice settings, you go to default settings and payment terms. Here's my pro tip. You can also set payment terms per client in contacts. So this is super important if you've got payment terms of 30 days with one client and 60 days of another. You don't want it appearing as overdue in your invoices. Payment methods. You can add different payment methods such as Stripe, PayPal, go cardless, whatever you want. This is added directly into your Xero so that your clients can pay online directly with a credit or debit card or through Apple or Google Pay. It will then appear with a button on the invoice email to pay immediately. This is super helpful if you're struggling with receiving payment. We want to make this as simple as possible for our clients to be able to pay us. You can also do this with direct debit, so please just ask. You can also customize your invoices by selecting your branding theme. Now, customized invoices strengthen your brand's identity. I'm sure you already know that, but you want to be able to demonstrate your professionalism on your invoice. You might also have different invoices for different people. You know, you might be offering different services, so you might want a different look. Learn more about customizing yours, check out our video on setting up your Xero. Branding theme. Now, you might want to change the fields that show on your invoice. This is all part of your branding theme. So it might be the case that you would never ever give a discount. You don't want the discount column shown. So you would have that unticked. Or if you do offer discounts, you can show it to help calculate the price accurately with the discount. Tax. Here you can choose how tax is calculated. Now, it can either be tax exclusive, so tax is added on in addition to the price of the goods, or tax inclusive, so tax is included in that price. Also, if you're not VAT registered, you don't need to show tax on there. So you'll see on some people's invoice, they'll show VAT of 0. Other people, if they're not VAT registered, will not have VAT showing on their invoice at all anyway because they're not VAT registered. So it's how you want your invoice to show up. Here are 4 reasons you should be using Xero to manage your business.
Keep on top of your bills effortlessly. See what bills are due and pay them on time, every time. With Xero, you can even schedule bills to be paid in advance, giving you peace of mind. Understanding your cash flow is as easy as connecting your bank account. With cash flow reports at your fingertips, you'll always know where your business stands. With HubDoc, you can say goodbye to paper clutter for good. Capture data from bills and receipts effortlessly and store your documents securely online. Never worry about lost paperwork again. Xero's App Store allows you to integrate apps that you're already using, or it can offer assistance in selecting the perfect apps to suit your needs for smoother processes and productivity. Simplify your business finances today with Xero. Click the link below to receive a special discount.
Filling in your invoice. First, you've got the item. So this is the inventory or the services that you have set up in Xero. So Xero auto-populates the invoice with the description, the price, the amount, and the tax rate. So this is super helpful because if you have the same service items, you sell the same services, and you might have multiple different services that you offer, but they are repetitive. You may also have the same stock or inventory items. So again, we have the same items, we want to be able to have them. Now, this is in our products and services section of Xero, and it's super, super important because we want to make sure it's set up. Certainly if we've got stock, we need to make sure we have an accurate stock take in Xero. Having these set up means that when we go to an invoice, we can very quickly find that stock item. It's the same price every time, and if we want to add a discount, we can. But ultimately, you've got all of your sales items there ready for you. So it's super easy. Your description's auto-populated. You can tweak things if you need to. Maybe you want to add a date in there for the month that it's applicable for. But it gives you that real speed and efficiency to be able to create more invoices. Be aware that just because it's automatically been generated does not mean that you can't change it. So as I say, you can add a month, you can change the description completely. You might just want it to pull in through the price. You might actually change the price. Whatever it is, I wouldn't recommend you changing your prices, but it's really important that you know that you can change these things. The best thing that Xero has, in my opinion, is tracking categories. So if you have the demo company, which you should if you're a Xero user, you can basically go into a demo company and you can look and see what tracking categories they've got set up. Now they've got regions set up, right? So you can see for them, they wanted to choose different regions, different parts of the country to be able to separate their sales or their expenses. You can change them to absolutely anything you want to track. So it can be person to person, so you can measure sales figures. You might have different sales areas. So for instance, you might have 2 or 3 different sections of your business that make sales. Again, high level, you might just want to see how the sales were doing in those areas. You can literally categorize by whatever works for your business. A great example is some people would do it based on one-off work and recurring work. So again, you can have all different types of categories because ultimately what we want to do is get to the point where we're looking at our profit and loss and it's pulling out information that we want. So it's pulling out those tracking categories to show us a high level overview of what is actually going on in our business. And then if we choose to dive deep, fantastic. At the bottom of the page, you can attach files. So you could attach the quote, for instance, if you're out on site and you've done a quote, or if you're working with bigger businesses, you might have a purchase order, right? So again, you can add the purchase order to it. Another important part is that you can see the history of the invoice. So you can see who edited it, you can see any notes for yourself, if the member of team has done anything to that invoice, you know, if somebody has changed the coding, you can see everything. There's also a really cool preview button when you're finished. So this means that you can see how it looks on a desktop and a mobile so that you can ensure that it's accurate, it reflects your brand well, and you're really comfortable and happy with how it looks. Then hit the Save and Close button. You can also hit draft save, or you can add another invoice if you're invoicing. You can send multiple invoices to the same person as well, all in one go, which is super helpful. If you're not quite ready to send, you might be in a bigger team and you have an approvals process, you can submit it for approval. You might have an assistant creating your invoices. They can save it for approval before it goes out to the client. Approve it and then email it. Once you've hit approve, you'll see a preview of the email on the screen, which you can then customize in settings or directly on it. Choose if you want to include a PDF attachment, which I highly recommend, and if you want to email a copy to yourself. It's really important that you understand what your clients are going to see when they receive that email, how they click into it, and what that user experience looks like. Tracking and reminders. This is super, super important. Now, you need to monitor the status of your invoices in Xero. You can do that on the Xero dashboard, and you can also do it directly in your invoices section. But basically, you need to set up automated reminders so that you can obviously follow up on any overdue payments. This bit's really important because you want to make sure that if you have 30 days payment terms, that it reflects that on your payment system. We don't want it flagging as it's not been paid and it's now overdue. If there is anything in overdue, you can then send out these reminders, make sure you're prompting people. You can also set up your automatic reminders. Now, these are fantastic if you are keeping on top of your Xero. The worst thing that can happen is somebody gets reminded of an invoice that is already paid. So please do make sure that you're keeping on top of your reconciliations and things like that before setting up your automatic reminders. We do not want to annoy people who have already paid us, right? Reconciliation. Once payment is received, reconcile the transactions in Xero to keep your accounts up to date. So we want to match the payment to the corresponding invoice for accurate financial reporting. Means we're not going to annoy people who have already paid us by sending out either automatic reminders or reminding them even though they have already paid us. It's coming to the bank. Through our bank, we've got our automatic bank feed-in system, which is fantastic, and it means that we can reconcile on the go. Conclusion: creating invoices in Xero is super, super, super simple, and it's really efficient. We want to help you to be able to get paid faster, manage your finances effectively, and basically be in control of your finances. Make sure you take advantage of all of Xero's invoicing features and make sure that you focus on growing your business. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to be utilizing Xero to the best of its ability, and you want to be making sure that you understand everything. Like anything, you want to make sure that all the settings in Xero are set up for you and your business, and that you're happy and comfortable with how your brand's reputation looks. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Lucy Johnson, owner here at Simplex Accounting. If this has helped at all, please do hit the like button, it helps loads, and do subscribe to our channel. We're constantly uploading new videos to YouTube every single month, so please do come and join in, have a look, keep growing your business and enjoy using Xero.